Welcome back. Let us study what is optical amplification. In order to study this optical amplification, we again consider a system consisting of two energy levels, that is E1 and E2. E1 is the ground state or the lower energy level. E2 is the excited state or the higher energy level. Usually, there will be more number of atoms in the lower energy state when compared to the higher energy state. There will be more number of atoms in the ground state and lesser number of atoms in the excited state. When an incident radiation is incident on such a system, the probability of absorption of incident radiation by the atoms in the ground state is more, as there are more number of atoms in the ground state. When the atoms in the ground state absorb the energy from the incident radiation, it gets attenuated. It gets attenuated in the sense there is a decrease in energy of the incident radiation. Since a part of energy has been absorbed by the atoms in the ground state, and thereby they get excited, and the, the energy coming out of the system will be decreased. Hence the name attenuation. And if we consider the reverse, if we consider more number of atoms in the higher energy state, lesser number of atoms in the lower energy state, if the radiation is made to incident on this system again, the probability of absorption or the probability of interaction of these photons is more with atoms in the higher energy state, as their number is more when compared to the atoms in the lower energy state. And therefore, as we know, in case of stimulated emission, if one photon interacts with one atom in the excited state, the atom in the excited state returns back to ground state by emitting two photons. Similarly, if there are 10 atoms in the excited state, and if 10 photons interact with these 10 atoms, these 10 atoms return back to the ground state emitting 20 photons. So, it is clear that when the incident radiation interacts with the atoms in the excited state, and these excited atoms return back to ground state, emitting double the number of photons. Hence, the intensity, or in other words, the radiation is said to be amplified. The radiation is said to be amplified as this is in the visible range. As this radiation is in the visible range, it is therefore called optical amplification. Since the atoms in the excited state return back to ground state due to stimulation with due to stimulation caused by the incident radiation, and there will be uh, increase in the amplitude of the radiation. Hence, it is said to be amplified. So we now study population inversion. Population inversion. Uh, Under thermal equilibrium, usually N1 will be greater than N2, where N1 is the number of atoms in the ground state and N2 represents the number of atoms in the excited state. So, under thermal equilibrium, Under thermal equilibrium, number of atoms in the ground state will always be larger than the number of atoms in the excited state. As a result, stimulated emission is very much lesser than the stimulated absorption. So as we have studied in the previous slide, as we have studied in the previous slide, we have studied this case in the first figure of the previous slide, where there was only stimulated absorption and stimulated emission was negligibly small as N2 is small. Stimulated absorption dominates stimulated emission if this is the case. But if by some means we are able to reverse this, by some means, if we can reverse this in the sense, if there, if there are more number of atoms in the excited state when compared to the ground state, as we have seen in the second figure of the previous slide, then the rate of emission dominates the rate of absorption. Rate of emission dominates the rate of absorption in the sense rate of downward transitions will be more when compared to the rate of upward transitions. For the laser action, this should be the condition. For the laser action, this is one of the conditions. That is, N2 should always be larger than N1. Also, stimulated emission should be very much larger than the stimulated absorption. Stimulated emission should dominate absorption. And this we call it as the population inversion. N2 being greater than N1, that is number of atoms in the higher energy state being larger than the number of atoms in the lower energy state is called population inversion. Now let us study the components of laser. We have three basic components of laser. One is the active medium, the other is optical pumping, the third one is resonant cavity. Active medium, optical pumping device, and resonant cavity are the three major components of laser device. Number one, first one is the active medium. What is an active medium? It is a medium where population inversion can be achieved, and also it should be capable of amplifying light passing through it. Optical medium is the one where population inversion takes place and also light gets amplified when passing through that active medium. Lasers are usually named after Lasers are usually named after the active medium that is used. Lasers are usually named after the active medium. Lasers are usually named after the active medium which is used. We have different types of active media. The active media may be a solid, maybe a liquid, maybe a gas, or maybe a semiconductor. Active media are of different types: solid, liquid, gas, and the semiconductor. So based on the type of active medium used, the laser is named after the active medium used in the device. In case of helium neon laser, helium neon serves as an active medium. The mixture of these two gases will serve as an active medium. And therefore, helium neon laser is named after the active medium, that is mixture of helium neon gas. Whereas in case of ruby rod, ruby crystal acts as an active medium. Ruby crystal itself acts as an active medium. Therefore, it is named after the active medium ruby. And this active medium will have two different parts. One is the host medium, also known as basis, and the laser medium. So these are the two parts of active medium. Laser medium is also known as the active center. In case of helium neon laser, in case of helium neon laser, helium acts as the basis or the host medium, whereas neon atoms act as the laser medium or the active centers. Helium acts as basis, neon acts as active center. In case of ruby laser, aluminum oxide acts as the basis, whereas chromium ions act as the active centers. Act as the active centers. So, what are active centers and what are the host media? The atoms which cause laser action are called active centers. Transition from higher energy level to lower energy level, thereby emitting photons of energy, will be caused in active centers. Whereas the media which helps in enhancing population inversion in active centers is called active medium. Active centers are a part of media where laser action will trigger, where laser action takes place. It will have population inversion will be achieved in active centers. Atoms will return to ground state by emitting photons. That is, laser output will also be in active centers, whereas host media or basis will support this active media or will enhance the population inversion in active media. Now, the second component of laser is the optical pump. It is the process of achieving population inversion. Population inversion can be achieved by a device called optical pumping. It is a medium in which population inversion is achieved, and such a medium is called active medium. We have already studied in the previous slide. It is active medium. It is a medium where population inversion is achieved. And population inversion is brought about by a three-level lasing device or by a three-level energy scheme where we have considered here the three-level scheme. E1 represents the ground state. E1 is the energy corresponding to ground state. E2 the energy corresponding to metastable state. E3 the energy corresponding to excited state. Excited state. And this excited state is short-lived. That is, the lifetime of an atom in excited state is about 10 power minus 8 seconds. 10 power minus 8 seconds. From where atoms undergo transition to metastable state. Metastable state whose lifetime is very much larger when compared to the excited state. That is, the lifetime of an atom in metastable state is 10 power minus 3 seconds. Whereas for the atom in excited state, it is about 10 power minus 8 seconds. 10 power minus 8 seconds. Also, in this three-level scheme, transition from E3 to E1 is not allowed. The photon interacts with the atom. The photon interacts with the atom. It absorbs sufficient energy and thereby it will excite to the level E3. Will excite to level E3. As its lifetime is very short in E3, it immediately and instantaneously make a transition to the level E2. like a transition to level E2 without any mm, without any emissions, or it is called non-radiative transfer, non-radiative transition, or in other words, non-radiative transition. When it reaches metastable state, there will be more and more number of atoms will reach metastable state as its lifetime is more and more number of atoms will be accumulating in metastable state. When the atoms in the ground state is irradiated with photons of energy, H nu equals E3 minus E1, atoms absorb, gets excited, immediately return to metastable state by non-radiative transition and gets accumulated over here. As the process continues, number of atoms in the ground state will be decreased, whereas number of atoms in the metastable state will be increased gradually. Now, finally, population inversion is said to be achieved. Population inversion is said to be achieved. Now, if one of the atom, if one of the atom undergoes spontaneous emission, one of the atom undergoes spontaneous emission from metastable to ground, emitting a photon of energy h nu equals E2 minus E1, then that photon will trigger or will stimulate the other atoms in the metastable state to decay to ground state. The process continues. All these photons emitted will further stimulate the atoms in the metastable state to return back to ground state, and the process continues until all the atoms in the metastable state gets completely depopulated. Completely depopulated. Now the amplified beam of photons is obtained. Now finally, an amplified beam of photons will be obtained. This is called optical pumping. Totally. I explained the complete picture of laser and finally resonant cavity. Photons emitted due to spontaneous emission will not give coherent amplification. In order to obtain coherent amplification or coherent radiation, the radiation so emitted should be enclosed in a cavity or in a resonator tuned to the required frequency. Tuned to the required frequency. And this can be achieved by keeping the active medium between two reflectors, which can reflect most of the output energy back to the system. Radiations emitted one by one will be reflected back and forth between these two reflectors or mirrors until until the metastable state gets completely depopulated. Now the output is emitted across the partially reflecting surface as a beam, which which will be coherent, which will be coherent. Such mirrors or reflectors containing active medium between them is called resonant cavity. Resonant cavity is the one in which active medium is enclosed between two mirrors, two reflectors or two mirrors. Among the two mirrors or reflectors, one will be totally reflecting, whereas the other is partially reflecting. The other is partially reflecting. Output, the laser output will be obtained across the partially reflecting device or the partially reflecting mirror. Now let us study the conditions for laser action. For laser action, for laser action, stimulated emission should always dominate spontaneous emission. Spontaneous emission should be negligibly small, whereas stimulated emission should be very large. For this to happen, N2 should be greater than N1. That is, number of atoms in the higher energy level should be larger than the number of atoms in the lower energy level. The radiation density should be very large, and the ratio of spontaneous emission to stimulated emission should be small. And condition 1 can be achieved, that is N2 greater than N1 can be achieved by population inversion. Population inversion, N2 can be made larger than N1, that is by optical pumping. And second condition, that is radiation density, large radiation density can be achieved by using resonant cavity, by keeping the active medium between two reflectors. That is, by having a resonant cavity, radiation density can be made large. And condition 3, that is ratio V21 by V21 equals small, can be achieved by having the upper energy level as metastable state from which spontaneous emission to ground state is not allowed. In order to achieve condition 3, we have, we have to have a metastable state from where transition to ground state is almost not allowed. If these three conditions are satisfied, then laser action